Hey everyone, it's Gamefruit Pulp, and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Building Toronto's Extras, the series where we take a look at some of the smaller details of the Building Toronto project and talk about them. In today's video, we're going to be actually answering all of your great questions that were asked in last week's video where I just asked for questions. So I got some really good ones that I'm really excited about, so we're going to go through them one by one, and I'm going to try and answer most of them, and then really just go from there. So the first question is going to be from one of our builders, James. He has a really good, a couple questions. One's good, one is not so good, but that's okay. So first with the good one, what is your favorite part of the Building Toronto map? And the second question is also, are you Gamefruit Pulp? Yes, I am Gamefruit Pulp. I will always be a Gamefruit Pulp. But my favorite part of the map, to answer the important question, is the area around the Berksey Park and the Flatiron building, that triangular building. This has always been my favorite part of the map, even though it's kind of a smaller area. I really like the buildings on the south side of Front Street as well. I think they were really well done. And so this pocket over there, right on the east end of our map, is probably my favorite part of the map, just because of the way it looks and the way it's kind of a unique sort of part of the map that I really like. The next group of questions is from DriftTube. There's quite a few different questions, and we're going to mix in a question as well from Blistery the Bear. Basically just questions on progress. So DriftTube asks how Bay Adelaide North is going, how Scotiabank is going. He also asks what are the boundaries of the streets, and then have you completed the Rogers Center was Blistery the Bear's question. So just to tie all those questions in together, just because I think it's the easiest to do this way, because otherwise the video is going to be 20 minutes long. If you want to see if specific builds are completed, then the best way to do that is check on Dynmap to see how progress is going. Dynmap is constantly updated. When every block is placed, it shows up pretty quickly on the Dynmap, and so if you do want to check how progress on any specific build is going, especially a build that might not be started yet, the best way to do that is to check out the Dynmap. And then as long as I remember, there'll be a little card that pops up right now with a link to how to use the Dynmap, in case you don't know how, where you can go and check how to use it and make sure you can do all of that. But to answer quickly, Scotiabank Arena is not started yet, Rogers Center is not started yet, and Bay Adelaide North is also not started yet, I don't think. No, it's not started yet either. So that's really that. Can you name all the current builders? Right now, this is also a question from DriftTube. I'm just going through all DriftTube's questions. So right now we have a few builders. We have Flaming Young, we have Apache, we have Bacon, we have Horizon, we have a new builder who's in the intern phase right now, Shaskool. We have Storm, Toxic, and United Valeria, who goes by Free Will Pack in game, and they're all really good builders. Like I said, we recently added a new builder, Shaskool, and we also added a person whose only job is to take pictures. Their name is Nasser, and he's been really helpful so far. Both Nasser and Shaskool joined the team about a week ago. They've both been really helpful. Obviously, Shaskool working on his new build, and Nasser taking some pictures of things we needed pictures of downtown, so that's also really helpful. What am I currently working on is a good question. I'm currently working on the railway still. I'm slowly making my progress along the east end of the railway up to Union Station. I've got about, I'd say, 70 to 100 meters left on the east side of Union to go. After I finish that, I'm going to be taking a break and working on realigning the intersection of the Esplanade and Church Street, because that's a little bit off center. And then once that's finished, I'm going to continue the Esplanade over to Jarvis. I may do the road work for Front as well over to Jarvis, but I'm going to be doing those two builds. Then I will likely work on the St. Lawrence Market tent, which is at the bottom south of the St. Lawrence Market, because that's a build that I want to do, and that would be with the new series, which I'm pretty excited for. And then from there, work on the west end of the railway, which should be a little bit quicker because the west isn't as done on the west side of Union as the east side was. And then for street barriers are still pretty much the same. We got Simcoe in the west. We've got up to, I want to say Adelaide. Yeah, Adelaide in the north. There's a little bit of stuff peeking north of Adelaide. and then to the railway in the south. So those haven't changed. There's a couple other questions that I don't. What's some problems with the map? Well, right now, one problem that we're working through is with the new thing that Bacon added with the map that sort of overlays itself. Some of the intersections didn't line up properly, so we're just working on trying to fix those little issues, which is why I need to work on the Esplanade and Jarvis area. Sorry, not Esplanade, the Esplanade and Church area where the intersection doesn't line up, and there's a couple other things in the West End that don't line up either that need to be looked at and tweaked, but nothing really major causing issues right now for that. And those are, again, there's a few more questions from DriftTube. I think that's all the questions I can answer from him today. Thanks again for all the great questions and for your support. You've been subscribed to the channel for over 2 years now, so I really appreciate the support. The next questions are from Fun Video Fan 1. The first is, have you been doing any updates on the TTC subway recently? The answer to that is yes and no. I have not personally been doing any updates, but our new builder, Chescool, is working on St. Andrew Station, and I'm helping him out with that as we go. The next question is, how much of Toronto have you done besides downtown? Right now, we've only done downtown. We're working out from the perimeter. There might be a little change with that coming soon, but for now, that's how we're working. And then, are you going to do houses on neighborhoods because you can't do the inside of a stranger's house unless you ask them for permission? That's a good question. When we do get out to the residential neighborhoods, what we're going to do is we're going to capture the outside the best we can, and then the inside will likely just build based on what we think would be reasonable inside. Especially with something like a residential house, the interiors would be pretty difficult to capture anyways because of scaling for kitchens and stuff. So what we'll do when we reach houses is we'll just do a little basic interior where we capture everything a house would have: a bathroom, a kitchen, a bedroom, living room, that kind of stuff, and then that would probably be it. But that's a good question. The next question we're going to go over is from II Apache, one of our builders. He says, they ask, are you Game Fruit Pulp? But I ask, how are you doing, Game Fruit Pulp? I'm doing good, thanks Apache. Appreciate the question. And that comment got a good chuckle out of me. And then the next question we'll do is from Funcola, not related to Building Toronto, but a question I'll answer nonetheless. He asks, are you planning to make a campaign walkthrough of the new Call of Duty that's getting released next month? Right now, no. The game probably won't be able to run well on my computer, and especially not well enough that I can record. Because if you've been watching my channel recently, you can see that a lot of videos have been struggling just to be recorded on even Minecraft Building Toronto. So if I get an upgrade to my computer, then I might consider it. Also, if the game isn't 450 gigabytes, I might consider it. But right now, probably not going to be playing the Call of Duty walkthrough on the new game. And the last two questions are from Ammo Somal. He has two questions. The first is, how are you keeping up with new builds in the city? Example, lots of new builds in Toronto that show up as construction sites on Google Earth. That's a good question. So right now what we do is, as we travel through the city, we capture the building as it is as when we're in that area. So an example of that right now is there's a building construction site at Church and the Esplanade that's just a hole in the ground for us, but if you drive by it in real life, there's now finally, it seemed like it took forever, but there's now finally some construction happening, some above ground stuff on the condo. So what we'll likely do is, and again, this is done on a case-by-case basis. Sometimes we build things that aren't completely built yet. We've done that for one condo where they were just finishing it off when we built it, but we built it as a completed condo. But what we'll do is maybe we'll leave it as a construction site and just as a piece in time, or we'll return back to that area later and build the condo, depending on if a builder wants to. So there's no obligation for us to go back and build it as a team. We decide basically on a case-by-case basis. If somebody likes that specific condo and they want to build it, even though it was a construction site on our map, then we can go back and they can build that condo. Otherwise, it would just stay like a snapshot in time of when we built that area of the map. And then the next question is, I know this is a hard question to answer, but when do you think the project will be considered done? So I mentioned this before. This isn't a project that when I started it, I ever considered having a finished date. It was sort of just I was going to work on it until I didn't like doing it anymore. Obviously now we've expanded the build team a bit, and I think that the same expectation that I have for this project they have as well, where there's no start and finish date. It's sort of just work on the project until you don't like it anymore. And because of that, we've had some builders go because they just sort of get burnt out from the project and don't want to keep doing it, and that's completely fine. But to consider it done, as in don't want to build anymore, I don't really know how to answer that, because there's no real finish line with a project like this, right? You sort of just keep going because there's always more to build. even if we finish all of Toronto, there's more to build, and it'll be a long, long time at the rate that we're building to finish all of Toronto. And I think that the whole point of the map is for me is to just to build to enjoy. I struggle in this game with trying to find direction, and the Building Toronto project, when I started it 3 years ago, provided me with direction on things to build. And I'm not an architect or an urban planner or anything like that. My design sense is not top tier, I would say. I would say it's pretty average at best. And so for me in Minecraft, I've always wanted to build large buildings and build interesting things, and I've never been able to figure out designs for them myself. All my buildings sort of just look pretty average. But the Building Toronto project allowed me to sort of build things that I thought were quite beautiful, and have a plan made for me that I just have to carry out that plan. And that's why I think that the Building Toronto project has been, for me, something that I've enjoyed for all this time, because it's been something that's allowed me to play the game, play Minecraft in a way that I find fulfilling. And so I'm going to basically keep doing this until I don't find it fulfilling anymore. And that would be the end of the project. And if that's today, or a year from now, or 10 years from now, I think at the end of it, I'll find this project a success regardless of how much we complete, just because I've spent 3 years now building in this map, and I had 3 years enjoying the game more than I have doing anything else. So a little bit of a roundabout answer to your question, but I hope that satisfies the question you asked. But that's going to be everything for this video. Again, I appreciate all your questions, and I might do this again in probably 5 or 6 months, and hopefully we'll have a lot of new questions then as well. But thank you guys very much for your support of the channel. If you're new to the channel and you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out the main Building Toronto series, where I go over a lot of the builds that we've completed on the map. And if you're also new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button as well, so you can be notified of videos coming out in the future. If you're really interested, hit the bell. I never ask people to hit the bell, and I don't know why. It's something I should do, just so you get notified of every time I upload a video. If you're a returning viewer and you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, share the channel with some of your friends so we can continue to grow this community. I recently passed over 1,300 subscribers, which is pretty cool, especially since considering last year at this time I was at like 600. So that's always something exciting when you pass over little milestones like that. But that is everything. Thank you guys again. My name is Game Fruit Pulp, and I'll catch you guys all next time. Have a good one.